H on the tracks, boys.
And we are officially live here at this witching hour here on the BC WrestlePod Network. Well, I mean, technically it's not the witching hour, but it's the witching hour somewhere. Be like, all right, let's get this started before things start coming to me in my house. It was just like, I don't need the wrestling gods coming to get me. I was just like, I have paid my due diligence. Please don't take out my internet. Anyways, but welcome everybody. Buenos dias, buenas noches, buenos tardes, wherever you are watching around the world. And welcome to another episode of Los Lobos de la Lucha, your weekly CMLL review show here at BC WrestlePod. Of course, my name is Mikey El Jefe of BC WrestlePod. And, you know, I run the 1s and 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. I do all the things and, yeah. But, of course, while I might be the face and I do a lot of the heavy lifting, I honestly cannot do this without my co-host for each review that I'm a part of. And tonight is no exception. Holding it down with me is, of course, you know, invited to the quince, the baptism, all of the things. And he is the official BC WrestlePod Gunkle, gay uncle, for those of you who are unaware or uninitiated. Papa Oso is in the building. Say hi, Gunkle.
Hi, Gunkle.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put Will like that, but no. Me and Will are going to be holding it down tonight. Unfortunately, we are without our other Puerto Rican in the house. Adolfo is taking care of some stuff this evening, but hopefully he will be back in time, because when we preview next episode, I was just like, how do we have like a whole 8 tag team match eliminations? We're going to get there when we get there, because I was just like, oh, Lord, here we go. It's about to get on and popping again. And of course, unofficially, our third co-host tonight, though, holding it down in the chats, is Primo Agent Lo-Fi, who has his pulse on the Lucha Libre goodness. So appreciative of him being in here this evening. And yeah. So before we get into CMLL and all the Lucha Libre action, because there was a lot of action and a lot of stretchers this episode in particular, which we will break down in a little bit. If you are new here to BC WrestlePod and you want to see more about what we are about or what we cover, then I highly recommend that you can subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitch or Kick, and, check out our archives of live streams and VODs, if you will, because we do a lot. We talk a lot of... No, 100%. Sorry. It's like this was a cursed second half of the show. The wrestling gods came for blood. The Lucha Libre gods came for blood the second half of the show, which we'll get into. But again, if you want to dig into the archives, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, that is where you can find all our stuff. However, if you want to interact with us, that is on a more manageable scale that doesn't require you to watch loads of hours of content. We totally understand. And you can follow us on all our social media sites. Or, you know what? Pick your favorite social media site, and I bet your bottom dollar that we will be there. Except for Twitter and Snapchat, because that could get us in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. Twitter is because ew. And then Snapchat is I don't want BC WrestlePod to end up on the 5 o'clock news of being like homewreckers on the internet. I'm just putting it out there. So no. But we are everywhere else at BC WrestlePod. And on the social media sites, you can find our report cards for the weekly shows and the pay-per-views, as well as predictions. As you know, we were just talking earlier tonight that if you check out our most recent predictions for NXT Deadline, you will find that NXT decided, hey, we love that you're doing predictions. None of them are about to come true, but we're going to try. Me and Papo also here at least got a little bit of aftercare, but Kilt got Raw Dog with a 0-5 prediction record. NXT screwed us really hard. I was just like, and not in the fun way. But if you want to see all the other types of shenanigans that go down like that, check out the social medias. We also have some merchandise, bcwrestlepodshop.forthwall.com. We got our limited edition holiday shirt. We have designs for all of our stuff. But of course, all of that will be going away in a couple of weeks to make room for our redesign. What are they going to look like? Well, you're going to have to wait until the new year. January 1st, 2026, all of our new merchandise will be launching as we enter our new era here at BC WrestlePod. Same faces, same chaotic energy, same chaos gremlins on a weekly basis, but more refined. And we're kind of, here's a hint, we're going to be throwing it back. Whatever form of the word that you think that we're going to throw it back, I'm going to let you decide. But we also have our little coffee. Will just looks up at me. He's like, God, Mikey, just stop. Listen, it has been a long day, and I am on the last fumes of sanity, so you getting crazy, Mikey, tonight. It's going to be great. But, of course, we do have our little coffee bot as he will be popping in ever so often throughout this, review, post-show breakdown, whatever you want to call it. And if you feel inclined to donate to the cause, then you can, but no pressure, because we know that times and financial things and the economy is rough out here. So please, only if you want to, you can, but no pressure. Just be here for the chaotic ride. Now that I've done all the business stuff, let's get into it, because we got a lot to talk about. I'm just going to leave this up here for the whole time. Not just kidding. But honestly, we're going to keep bringing this up, Primo. I was just like, because Lord help us. Yeah, it was crazy. But let's get into the first half, which, you know what, started off pretty okay. So we kick things off this week with, of course, a Relampago match. I was like, I'm sensing a pattern. Because we got one last week. We got a Relampago match last week to kick us off. We're getting another one. But this time, this came in the form of these two individuals. So we got a match Relampago with, a una caída, so one fall, between Penjulo and Carnifice, which, you know what? This is my first true introduction to Carnifice. And then, of course, as Primo mentioned last week, very rare appearance, apparently, from Mr. Carnifice. Pendulo has been kind of popping up ever so often here over the last month or two here on Viernes Espectacular. And This was fun. I had fun. And again, Adolfo's not here to actually give like the actual breakdown and be like, this is what this happened, this is what that happened. I'm a basic person tonight, and I was just like, this match was good. This match was fun. But in all seriousness, no, this match was pretty fun. I had an incredible time. Again, this is my first introduction to Carnifice. I liked what I saw. Again, Pendulo is kind of going up there. I'm liking what I've seen, but I kind of need to see a little bit more from him. And Primo kind of brings this up too, is that he's not sold on Pendulo, but he has one of the better nights here. Carnifice, who I do like, kind of had a rough. I mean, listen, the energy was off. Somebody forgot to feng shui Arena Mexico because this whole night was bonkers in terms of like everything we witnessed.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, and this was a Relambago match, so it didn't have to go too long. I think, it did what it needed to be done. I guess if you want to call it that way.
It did. I mean, it wasn't bad. I thought it was a pretty good. Carnifice, I don't know who that is. I didn't know who he was. It was fun to watch him, though. I love it when I get to meet, again, I've said it many times, whenever I get to meet a new person, I'm just like, woo! So this is going to be exciting no matter what, because I get to watch a whole new person, their style, the way that, just everything. And it was really good. And Pendulo, I've only seen one other time, I think. And he's all right. I think I like Carnifice better in this match. But I mean, I didn't dislike Pendulo. I don't know. I sort of favored Carnifice. Maybe, and it may be because I did not know him. He was new to me. So that could have been a swaying factor. I'm not really sure though. But it was a pretty good match.
Yeah. Again, this was a pretty solid opener. Pendulo would end up being the winner here on this one. And we move on. I love when my favorites can agree. But Agent Lo-Fi coming in, Papa also would be correct. He's only had one other Friday. He's mostly a Tuesday, Sunday guy at the moment. So good to know. And I appreciate the support, Primo. We really, really do. All right, but let's get into our next action. Hi, girls. Hi, Amazonas. We're going to have a chat because well, first of all, we had a bit of a change of the card because last week when I talked about this match, it was originally going to be India and La Catalina who were going to participate in this match against Zuxis and Olympia. Fast forward to the actual show, and this was Juvia and India Sui taking on Zuxis and Olympia in a Relevo Sencillo de Amazonas. So we had a bit of a change of the guard. God, I love Zuxis and Olympia. That is my first thing. I was just like, God, I love these two. And you know what? Shout out to Juvia. Like the last couple of months, I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what kind of talks have been happening backstage, but I was just like, she's kind of being more aggressive. I'm kind of here for it. And of course, India having a really great year so far being in this match. This was fun. I really had a good time. But again, I was just like, I saw this card. I was just like, let me start writing this eulogy for Juvia and India.
I know, right?
God, Zuxis and Olympia. I'm just like, listen, move out the way. Like, honestly.
Well, they're like the Amazona power couple. I mean, it's just like literally. It's just like, oof. I mean, even I would not want to go against them if I was one of the other Amazonas. I'd be like, can I skip this one?
And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, now I need you two to back me up in this fight at the bar really quickly. Let's go. Like,
I know, right? Oof.
Okay, so we're getting some information from Primo. I'll admit, Catalina could have had better timing for her eye work. Had it done on Wednesday, then got hit on Thursday, which made her miss Friday. LOL. Damn, this whole week has been cursed for some of the CMLL roster. Good golly, Miss Molly. Like, holy crap. So, I will admit, Primo, that was kind of funny. we have to make light of the situation. Of course, I hope La Catalina is okay. But I find it funny that she had the work done on Wednesday. She got hit on Thursday and she missed Friday because of it. Life of a wrestler never stops. So again, instead of La Catalina, Lluvia is tagging in, and you know what? This is good. But again, as soon as I saw this, I was just like, Lluvia in India. I was just like, in the arms of the angel. I was just like, oh, they're about to get we're not far enough in. They're about to get their butts whooped. And butts what they did, because Zuxis and Olympia do win. I was just like, God, I was like, yep, sounds about right.
Yep. They're savage, man. When they get in the ring, they are savage. And I love it. I just love it. It's like, because dang.
You know what?
Zuxis and Olympia, they're just.
Yeah.
I don't want to go up against them.
No, I was just like, we gotta wait. We gotta be on our best behavior for at least another 15 minutes. But yeah, no, I feel you. I was just like, Olympia and Zuxis, you get one of these. I was just like, you get yes. So I was like, I think this was fun enough, and this was definitely the showcase of the powerhouse. As I said before, Zuxis and Olympia defeat Lluvia and India Sui. And dare I say, this was a really, really solid match. But we carry on with the rest of the evening because let me tell you, I really love this match.
Yes.
God, listen, I am on the Utani agenda. That has been my agenda this whole entire year. And I'm excited for her though. Gonna miss Olympia. She's headed out to Japan either this or next week. But honestly, having her work that Joshi style and picking up some things when she comes back to Reina Mexico, oh God, she's going to be a force to reckon with. I'm excited for her. But back to this action. So this match was made last week after our trios match where Capitan Suicida called out Utani and Utani accepted. And so we got this match. Claps all around because I need Utani to, this is going to be good. Oh, and apparently Olympia is going on a long tour, so it's going to be really good for her. Hell yeah.
Good for her.
Hopefully I get to see her pop up in Stardom. I need her and Megan Bang to go at it. I'm just putting it out there. Anyhow, but back to this match. But claps all around. Capitan Suicida and Utani, y'all brought it. I was like, this was so much fun.
And this is what I have been waiting for. I've been waiting to see Utani as a solo fighter. Because I haven't seen
actually
him
get like fighter. A full length solo match.
Yeah,
it's not in a trios or it's not super short.
Yeah, it was very impressive. I mean, he was very impressive. I mean, all the little moments that I've seen him in the groupings, I was like, oh, okay. But seeing him as a solo fighter, I was just like, wow, okay, one of my new favorites. Absolutely, I was like, wow. You go, boy. Like, seriously.
And again, we've had Primo is absolutely right though. They had a little misstep right after the hot start that kind of killed the crowd, but they got him back by the end. And Primo giving us the information because we've talked about Utani. I think what makes me like this match a little bit more is the fact that again, Utani had. As we learned, was originally a soccer player, decided to go into professional wrestling when he came down here. And I was like, I'm glad you decided to do that because you are great and fantastic. And I also agree with the statement from Primo. Probably the best match of the night that didn't end with a fart.
I have to agree.
Yeah, because the next three matches we're going to talk about. Ooh, okay. But I was like, we will get there when we get there because I want to talk about this. No, but in all honesty, this definitely was a really fun showcase for Utani. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, he did lose to Capitan Suicida, but again, in 2026, I want to see more Utani in singles action like this. It doesn't even need to be for a championship. Just let him fight, and he's great. And you know what? I love him as in tag teams and trios, but I feel like this singles match, I was just like, I want to see more mixture of singles matches for Utani. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Capitan Suicida too, because he's having a really fun year as well for me. So this was great. Again, Mano a mano, Mexico versus Japón. A una caída, one fall, Mexico versus Japan, 1-on-1. And Capitan Suicida, do pick it up. Yes. I
Agreed.
love this. Definitely be positioned for bigger things.
I
As
agree.
he should. As he should. I just want to stay on here because no. All right. So
Yeah, we
hold
have
up.
to move on.
Yes. Very unfortunately. Again, there were some mishaps in the first few matches, but you know what? They were all pretty good. And now is the time of the show. It's been a while since I had to pull you out, but here's the thing. I'm gonna put this out here as y'all read this at home because we love CMLL, and sometimes things happen. But when really nasty spills happen, it definitely takes us out of the moment. So we are going to be sharing our opinion.
Yeah.
We do love the talent, but we got to call out some of the stuff, even if it was really not fun to look at. So that is your warning for the evening. So, no, in all honesty, and I think that's the bummer, is that because of the seriousness of some of these things that happen, all of these matches could have been match of the night, but because of, well, at least the next two matches, the stretchers came out and it wasn't like, oh, we're playing this up or it's a minor thing. No, I literally thought that these people actually metaphorically like just kicked the bucket on my screen. I was like, oh no. So, alrighty. I've held off long enough, so let's start with this. I'm going to offer a blessing to the wrestling gods. We are going to critique CMLL, whom we love dearly. And unfortunately, accidents do happen. But we also got to be professionals, and we got to call it out like it is. So please don't kill my internet, CMLL. I still love you, but we got to talk about it. Oh, man. All right, let's start with this one. Which, again, this could have been a really solid match. Unfortunately, stretcher number 1 came out in the middle of this match. So we had Dragon Rojo Jr., Dragon Legendario, and Dragon de Fuego taking on the team of Magnus, Guerrero Maya Jr., and El Cobarde. And I was just like, okay, you know what? Looking forward to it. A lot of these folks are great. It's been a hot minute since we've seen the Dragon family. Really excited to see. Mm-hmm. And then Dragon Down. That, oh my goodness. Okay, this one was bad. And I did have to pause because I was just like, yeah, we're going to hold off onto that because all Clutch My Pearls is next. But Dragon Down. And I was just like, oh, it's really hard when it becomes a 2-on-3 because now you have, well, one, the other team has to make it work, you know, now that they have full numbers. But yeah, this was tough, especially once Dragon, when we got one Dragon down, then it became a 2-on-3 and the two this was rough afterwards because they had to try to make a 2-on-3 work. Meanwhile, Primo, fun note for me at least, is that seeing Guerrero Maya Jr. more on commentary always throws a Black Terry shout out. I love Guerrero Maya Jr. on commentary; he's great. But this was a rough go. Once we lost once we lost a dragon, it was rough go from here. It was rough sailing for everyone involved, and it was really tough because I was like, oh man, it was a bummer for sure.
I think it was very hard for them to. I felt that it was that they were struggling to get back on track. You know, which makes complete sense. You know, that you literally just stretchered out one of your. Yeah, even for the other team, I mean, it was like, oh crap. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So at least we kind of know the background of it. But yeah, it was. When it happened, I was taken out of it. I was just like, oh my god. All I could think of. That's all I could think of the whole rest of the match, and I can only imagine what they were thinking.
It was a rough go because so let's talk about the spot really quick. So it was Rojo and Magnus supposed to, you know, outside going up to it. And Primo kind of pointing this out. Magnus was talking to the crowd, and it seems that either he wasn't in place in time or he expected Rojo to be launched farther. which I feel like either of those things could be true. And I have also not heard an update on him. The other two we know, so which is very fair. We're going to talk about Neon. We're going to talk about Neon. That's a bummer too. Rojo does have a pretty lengthy injury list. Darn it! I was like, again, the Arena Mexico gods decide to give it and they take it away. Because we got our Novio Soberano coming back, after a lengthy injury, and now we're losing people left and right, and it was rough. But yeah, at once Rojo went down, it was really rough sailings to get everyone back on track. I mean, the Dragons do pick up the victory here, but damn, this was a rough one to get through after Dragon Rojo Jr. went down. This was tough.
It was. Oof.
So this one was tough. Like, I was like, oh, okay. This one was tough. But on the bright side, though, Dragon Legendario was extremely fun to watch in this match. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there was some great, it was some great moments after the fact, but they were struggling to get it back. I mean, you could just feel the energy in the room was just different. At least to me, it was. It felt weird.
It really, really did. And so at this point, I was just like, okay, this was a rough one to watch. I was just like, all right, now that that's out of the way, let's keep getting back on track. Oh wait, I forgot. Oh, there it is.
Ugh.
It skipped. Oh man. Okay, so there's. Wait, hold up. Like, okay. Just really quickly. I mean, I'm not making fun of this situation because it was awful, but like, oh man. Whereas the previous match, I was like, oh, that's rough. It's really bad. This one took all the wind out of the sails for me on this one because. Yep, and that was the sad part too. Plus what happened afterwards, because this is a super good match until the miss. Yep. So let me set this match up, right? So this was a relevo australiano a dos de tres caídas, 2 out of 3 falls. So we had the team of Neon, Templario, and Titan versus Barbaro Cavenario, Volador Jr., and Averno, right? On paper, really good. I love all 6 of these people. They all can go. They are fantastic. Love seeing them. We got some really good stuff. Everybody was hitting their spots. Everyone was doing good. And I was just like, okay, now we're picking it back up. We're getting all the people like Neon, Templario, and Titan doing their thing. Barbaro, Volador, and Averno doing their thing. Then, it pains me to talk about it, but we have to. Neon does the spot that he normally does where he jumps the ropes really fast. And, and most of the time he can hit it. There's a couple times where he overshoots, but he still gets the landing. Not this time, because as soon as Neon hits that second rope, it does not connect, and homeboy lands flat on his ass. But I say, metaphorically speaking, but Neon like scorpioned his neck onto the floor and was down and out for the count. And then what made it worse is that we got the slow-mo replay of the miss too. I was like, why would you show me? Why would you? I don't want to see it again. And then of course the internet had to continue to show it to me on the social medias. I'm like, I don't want to see it again, you guys. It was bad enough for the first time. I turned into Gigi from Shrek for a little bit. I was like, oh man, Will though. Oh my god. At that moment, I was out of the match for the rest of the match.
I was too.
I could not get back into it because now I'm over here thinking, I was like, oh god, Neon is out with a neck injury. He going like it was. Yep. This was rough. And again, like it did seem that he hit more of the corner of the rope, and normally it's out there more, and he didn't get the spring you normally get. Oh man, it was so rough. But that landing was god awful. I was like, oh, I think he died.
Nope, I agree. I was the same way the minute it happened, because I was like, oh my god, this match is amazing. And of course I was watching my man Templario, but but the minute that happened, I was just like, I was done. I was literally like, oh my God, I literally think he may be paralyzed or something. Because the way he landed, I was just like, how do you walk away from that? Because this area of your body is super, even though it's super elastic, it is super fragile. And I was just like, I swear, I think he broke his neck. I swear to God he did. The way he landed, I thought for sure. I was like, oh my God, we literally just watched someone break their neck. And again, after it happens, how do you keep moving? I mean, I know the show must go on, but it was done. I was done. There was no way for me to get back into it. I tried, but yeah, I was like, sheesh. Oof. It was rough. It was rough.
Oh man, once that happened and Neon was down and out for the count, and then watching him get pulled up via the stretcher again, it became a 2-on-1, Templario and Titan. Titan and Templario kept going with it. It became a 2-on-3 situation. But again, I could not tell you what happened afterwards because I was only half paying attention because I'm like thinking about, oh God, I wonder how bad it is for Neon. Of course, we would get information from CMLL thanks to, the letterhead of Informa and CMLL that Neon would be out of action for Sunday, Tuesday, and for this upcoming Friday for Viernes Espectacular. And according to Primo, getting the information that Neon's doctor told him to chill for 2 to 3 weeks. But as a luchador, he wants to be back sooner than later, namely for the AEW night, which is happening on the 19th. And he's replaced in the Gran Alternativa, but they haven't made a replacement for the night match yet, so he may still make that. Which is the sucky part, because, last week we talked about it, that in Dream Matches, which is happening on Friday the 19th, it was announced we were going to get Neon versus Kevin Knight from AEW. So who knows? They haven't named the replacement for Kevin Knight yet, so he still make that. But man, what speedy recovery to Neon. Thank God it doesn't seem like he's going to be out for a lot longer than 2 to 3 weeks. But man, that was a scary bump. That really was. And it took me out of this match. And I know people are like, why? I was like, the match still goes on. I was like, yes, but it goes beyond just watching the spectacle because I care about these performers. This is their livelihood. This is how they get paid, y'all. So if you ain't working, how you getting paid? And plus, this, especially in Lucha Libre, this is their love. This is their passion. And who wants their love and passion to be taken away from them, even that went out on injury? Templario, Titan, and Neon do win this match after everything is said and done, but man, this was rough in terms of I was so out of it after that spot.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even realize. The funny thing is, I didn't even realize that they won. I was completely out of it.
I was out of it, and then I blinked, and then the main event happened. I was like, oh, okay. So I guess I got to continue this. So, yeah. But for the rest of the holiday season, Informas will be on Tuesdays, which is good to know because then we can get this information and have it presentable for Wednesday, which, is kind of crazy because next week is our final live show of 2025, and then we go on break for 2 whole weeks. So, yeah, sorry, Primo, you won't get to see us during the holiday season, but we're coming back stronger than ever in the new year. And at least we will be here for the cage match, though. So that will be technically our first review in 2026 where we talk about the cage match. So that should be fun, though. But yeah, this had the makings of match of the night. And then when Neon got taken out, I was just like, I forgot what the exact effect is in the movie where it's just like everything is drowned out, like you're listening to everything underwater. And it's just like, it was rough go. It was rough go. So this sucks, and it's not fair to our main event because it still took me a hot minute to get through it. And I actually had to pause and step away for a couple minutes to get myself together because I was like, I want to give this match my full attention. And then we still had things going out because our lovable zombie also got. I was like, what's happening with this show tonight? Oh my God. I was just like, it went from a 2-on-2 to a 2-on-1. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, gosh darn it. I was just like, just because Soberano Jr. came back wrestling gods doesn't mean you can start taking out everybody else left and right. Oh, man. Yeah. I was just like, this was a rough go because I was just like, Defunto was taken out. Mascara Dorada, I thought, died. I was just like, Lord help us. Like, these boys are going through it tonight. Yeah. On the flip side, and the good side, however, at least we know Mascara is good. He said it did hurt, though. Yeah, I'm just like...
I bet it did.
I was like, gee, I wonder why... Kidding. I was like, if it didn't hurt, then I would actually have to say you are lucky or you are a freak of nature. Like, but oh my gosh. Boys, like, I love y'all, but this second half of the card was rough. So let me at least set this up and we will talk about it. We'll get into the comment primo in a little bit. So this is our level sencillo, 2 a 3 caídas, 2 out of 3 falls. Místico Máscara Dorado versus the Novio Soberano Jr. Him and his outfits have always been, they are a key. And our lovable zombie Defunto. Yeah, but let me bring this up because this had me laughing. Honestly, if Místico didn't have to cut a promo, he'd probably be on the stretcher. For reals. I was like, nobody give Místico the mic. I'm just kidding. No, but I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, this second half of the card was just, oh man, it was a rough go. But after all the chaos, after all the scary stuff, after, oh God, I think someone died again on my screen, it would be Soberano Jr. and Defunto who do pick up the victory here. And then we get a little bit of a promo afterwards, which, Soberano starts off. He calls out Místico. He's been out. The crowd loves the Novio. And I mean, we do too, because I'm like, he's hot and he has good fashion sense. But I do love his wrestling style too, which I have missed sorely in 2025. And then Místico cuts the promo and fires back. And this is ultimately leading these two to have a match for the CMLL Middleweight Championship this upcoming Friday. So I was just like, oh man, here we go. I thought we were going to wait until have this clash happen, but nope. And honestly, I think we talked about this. I feel like this was the collision course we were heading before Soberano Jr. got hurt anyways at the beginning of the year. So we are finally getting back to it at the very end of the year. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, this was a very strange Viernes Espectacular. The first 3 matches were pretty solid. And then the wrestling gods decided to be like, nah. And then we had lots of people taking out the last 3 matches. We had stretchers. We had nasty. Oh, man, this was great. I am excited, though, for this upcoming match for Místico and Soberano. You may not see much of Technical Soberano, but he showed some nice flashes of that in this match. He is Soberano Jr. is quick. He is a fast boy. So, speaking of Viernes Espectacular, that ends this review portion, but fret not. Let's get into what is coming up this week for Viernes Espectacular, which has me super excited because this is actually going to be a really fun show. Not even going to lie. So, we are kicking things off with the Relampago match. This is going to see Fury Boy taking on Camelot, who I have not seen at all. So this is going to be my first introduction to Camelot. And I was like, please let him come out in a knight in shining armor because that would be hilarious. Also, I'm a big medieval buff and that would be really, really fun. But then we are getting a trios match next after that, which is going to be El Aduas, Valiente Jr., and Fugas taking on Okamura, Infarto, and Hijo de Stuka Jr. So it's like, yes, Japanese grandpa is back in my midst on my TV screen. Love Okamura. He is fantastic. Then in Amazonas action, we are getting a Relampago match. This is Tessa Blanchard taking on Zuxis. And I was just like, I hope this one goes better for Tessa than the last one, because the last Relampago match, we talked about it, we did not enjoy it. Okay, now I'm drooling because we're getting into the semi-main event, which is the Eliminatoria del Torneo La Gran Alternativa. And Informa let us know because it was originally going to be Neon and Futuro. So Futuro is going to be teaming up with Esfinge now. I was just like, hey. But speaking of which, this freaking lineup is stacked for the elimination tournament for the Gran Alternativa, because this match has everybody. It's got Atlantis Jr. and Shelhua versus Volador Jr. and El Elemental versus Templario and El Hijo del Pantera versus Averno and Barbosa versus Titan and Explosivo versus Euforia and El Gallero versus Esfinge and Futuro versus Angel del Oro and, of course, our boy Utani. This match is... We're far enough in. This match is fucking stacked. Holy shit. There's a lot of our favorites in this match, and I'm just like, I don't know who to pick or support.
I know. That's like, oh, crap.
I'm just like, so much good. And you know what? I love me a good Christmas tree lighting. So, you know what? I'm going to tune in Sunday just to see the tree lighting, just because it's going to be great. But then in the main event of this upcoming Viernes Espectacular is for the CMLL Middleweight Championship. Místico defending his title against Soberano Jr. God, this match is gonna rule. Please, no more stretchers, though. I was like, please, nobody else get hurt. We cannot afford it. Please. But please. I am super excited. And again, we got this is going to be a fun episode this Friday. And then the following Friday is when we get our dream match episode. So Claudio versus Ultimo Guerrero. So AEW's Claudio Castagnoli versus Ultimo Guerrero for the World Heavyweight Championship. We are getting Speedball Mike Bailey versus Máscara Dorada, and Kevin Knight versus hopefully Neon, because I was just like, God, please Neon be good, because I want to see you and Kevin Knight go one-on-one square up. Speaking of Máscara Dorada, that is going to be the only thing I'm going to talk about for the Noticias, in the sense that Máscara Dorada is killing it in the Continental Classic. This past week, he made a major upset by pinning and getting his first 3 points of the tournament by pinning and defeating the leader of the Blue League in the Continental Classic, Claudio Castagnoli. And Máscara Dorada is also, looking to be fighting some. He's got 4 matches left, and I'm looking forward to whenever him and Speedball Mike Bailey fight in AEW for this tournament. It's going to be fantastic. Also, Kevin Knight, it's good. I'm so ready. Máscara Dorada is going to have... Actually, no, scratch that. No, Kevin Knight and Speedball are in the Gold League. But Máscara Dorada still has a couple matches left. Máscara is out here having great bangers. I am looking forward to his match against Takeshita, though. That is my dream match right there, and I cannot wait to talk about it when we get to it. And also, it's going to be a fantastic bout. But that is going to be it for us here at Los Lobos de la Lucha. Primo, I would like to thank you for tuning in. I know, without Adolfo is our actual, he is the man that tells us all the ins and outs of the ring action, so I apologize in advance, but thank you for helping us talk about probably one of the most cursed episodes we have talked about so far for CMLL. Thank God everybody is okay, though, and hopefully everyone is, ready to go, and hopefully he is healed up enough just in time for him and Kevin Knight, but I do want him to be okay. But we do have a lot of fun stuff still happening this week. On Friday, as if, Papa Oso here doesn't already spend too much time with us, I will be taking him once again, and our other, aptly named Will, the three of us are going to be talking about Final Resolution, which I cannot believe I'm saying this. I think Final Resolution outside, it was probably my favorite pay-per-view that happened this weekend, and it was probably the best, which is crazy because, man, since Emergence, we've been poo-pooing on TNA's pay-per-views because they've been wild. They have not been so fun, but Final Resolution actually was pretty solid, and we're going to talk about all the ins and outs and the debuts of two faction/groups We're going to talk about the debut of Bear Bronson and the, return/debut of the Righteous in the tag team division. And then briefly talk about the Thursday episode because we're getting kinky because we're getting a dog collar match between Danny Luna and Indy Hartwell. So that's going to be fun. Then this weekend is, watch-alongs for two opposite spectrums of the wrestling, community. On Saturday, Kilt and I will be here to be doing a live watch-along for Saturday night's main event, in which we will be seeing John Cena's final, match, his retirement match. So will we cry? I don't know. I probably won't. But I know one of our co-hosts, Minnie, is going to be crying his little eyes out, and he has to wait until the following day to watch it. So that is your typical WWE watch along. And then on Sunday on the opposite spectrum, we about to get violent because the GCW crew will be doing a live watch along for the Nick Gage Invitational Night. There will be blood, violence, maybe some horniness. We don't know because, we don't shame kinks on this channel. But there's going to be lots of blood, violence, light tubes, glass planes, chairs, barbed wires, gusset plates. Somebody looking blood and needed a tetanus shot. Who knows? It's going to be crazy. So that would be myself, Benny, and of course, making his return to the BC Wrestle Pod for one night only, or maybe more. We don't know. The Samoan powerhouse himself, Andrew, will be making his grand reappearance to BC Wrestle Pod after some time away. And I've missed Andrew. So, we'll make sure that he has fun on Sunday. But that is going to be it for us here at Los Lobos de la Lucha. Thank you for tuning in. We got to get up on out of here. So until next time, from all of us here at BC WrestlePod, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will see you Friday for our TNA Final Resolution review. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.